Simon says, "At home, I walk through the door. I see Frank has her foot in her head or her head in her hand. She shows me the entries of her see-through text. Her eyes widen, her legs cross. I pick up her text and it gurgles in my arms. Its tenderness affronts all that I've done. New walls creep out and around my walls. I hand Frank her text and leave for lunch. I pick up a bagel and paper to read, and the death of the novelist screams out again. I think of Frank's text and all that she's done. An lurid constructionist plot is undone. New empires emerge in a virtual sense, and I watch the old Murdoch Shipping Company fold into rest." Dr. Frank. I watch shadows of kingdoms leap from the wall, overturned benches fall through the hall. I approach the southern end of my new walls, and I watch the telephone crawl slowly out of the abandoned text. Simon says, "I call my editor. I tell him the text is juicy, but not overdone. I walk to his office via the Greenwich Green and the butcher's store, so I can rub some tender lamb's blood all over my coat. He shakes my hand. He sniffs the air and looks into outer space. He wipes his hand on his coat, and I imagine him walking across town with a blood stain spread all over his chest. I watch the dogs circle. I chuckle. He frowns. He scans my last draft. He sits down. "We can't print this, Hussein. Are you crazy? It's fiction, Harry. I was testing the boundaries. Or perhaps you'll like this better. I was testing democracy. Or maybe I was just testing you." "Simon," he says, "is this really it?" "Well, what else is there? You can't pull anything down anymore. The mass narrative is dead. They won't stand for it, Harry. You know that." Harry snuffles into the handkerchief I offer him. He thanks me for my generosity and my faith in peace. He leaves for a meeting. I walk home via the park. The dogs look at me suspiciously, but their bellies are done. The next day my editor calls me. He says 2 dogs attacked him on his way to lunch, and his commissioning editor sacked him when he suggested publishing my text. He says he'd taken the text home and read it sheet to link. He says he even died at the end when the children cried. He says he has put up his apartment to pay for the costs, and then he bellows out, "Cold chicken coughs." I wait until it's published to tell him the author is not me, but my psychiatrist and pseudo-wife.